See if we're live. Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out Royal Caribbean Blog for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, advice. It is all waiting for you at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday, everybody. We are back hanging out with all of you, talking Royal Caribbean, answering your Royal Caribbean cruise questions, starting with the most important question: how many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Take a countdown in chat. Let us count down together. I have about 9 days or so, 10 days, I believe, to Utopia of the Seas. Going back on board because why not? It's been like a week since I've been on Utopia. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you all here. I see lots of friends in the chat, including the Teresa McShane from MEI Travel. Welcome. We had some super chats before the broadcast began. Jen Mather. Jen, thank you for the super chat. Jen wrote, we've got 2 cruises already booked for 2025 and another in 2026. My question for you is, how warm can we expect the water to be in Cozumel in January? We enjoyed Paradise Beach last month. It'll be plenty warm. The tropics really don't get the kind of temperature swings that we get elsewhere. It'll be almost certainly in the 80s. The humidity might not be as bad in January, and it might even have a tinge of coolness in the air, but not to worry. Paradise Beach's pool is heated, and the ocean water should still be warm enough. I don't think you'll have any problems, Jen. I've been there many, many times and never really had an issue. I mean, occasionally, on a rare occasion, a cold front really comes through, but it's pretty rare even to have one go all the way down to Cozumel. Bob Dickens, thank you for the super chat, Bob. Wondering if someone from your travel agency, if I should try to work with them. Also, I never pay for my cruises because I spend a lot of the money in the casino. Just wondering if I'm missing anything. You are missing something. MEI Travel, they're not my travel agency, by the way. They're just a sponsor. MEI Travel works with casino booking. Sorry, something in my eye right now. The whole day doesn't bother me. Now my contact lens is like killing me. The MEI Travel will definitely work with you as a casino booking. Whether you book with the casino or not, I would still say it's worthwhile for you to do it. Geez, I'm just so tearing up at the sight of not booking with a travel agent. Yeah, they definitely want to book with a travel agent. Bob, even if you book through the casino, it's absolutely worth it. Lighthouse, thank you for the super chat. Is there a type of corkscrew that I can take on Vision of the Seas? You don't have to bring any corkscrew on board, Lighthouse. Ask your stateroom attendant for one. They'll provide one for you for free. You don't need to bring one on board. So, and I wouldn't even bother with it because the whole, might be a weapon kind of thing. So get on board the ship, ask your stateroom attendant. They can provide one for you. Of course, you can also bring it to a restaurant or bar, and they can open it for you there. We're still answering some of those super chats from before the broadcast began. Chris Stell, thank you for the super chat. 13 more live chats on my back-to-back on Independence. I can't wait. Thanks to Matt and the amazing Jen Green from MEI Travel. Happy to see others measuring their time of their next cruises and the number of Monday live chats. That is awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic, dude. I love that. I think we're up to our next one here. Rob Meredith. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Rob wrote, Matt, I read that September 7th, 2025 on sailing on Star will be the media sailing. If so, will we be on that board? I haven't received any information when it'll be. Rob, I have no idea. I don't think it'll be September 7th. Usually it's before the inaugural. So probably not, Rob. I think your sailing will be a normal sailing. But to be perfectly clear, Royal has not said anything yet about which one it'll be. So no one knows. And again, from past experience, the media sailing is usually before the inaugural, not after. Thank you for the super chat. Brad, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you. 11 days till Allure of the Seas. Very nice. I do love me some Allure of the Seas. I see Warren Caesar in the chat. What's going on, Warren? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Super Mario Dogs in the house. Jonathan Fay in the house. Beverly is here. Kelly Kunkel is here. Kelly says, hello, my name is Kelly, and I'm addicted to cruising. Hi, Kelly. Welcome. You're among friends here. Can Symphony of the Seas dock in Halifax? Yeah, Oasis clashes have been there before. Absolutely. Don and Judy Goldstein are here. Good to see you. Terry Codwaller is here. Mike Wolf, thank you for the super chat. 14 days till Mariner. So long. When you get within like 2-3 weeks, man, time just slows down. It's crazy. Cat DMRN, thank you for the super chat. 185 days till Jewel. Royal Caribbean has not listed any excursions in Belize. We'll deal with them later. If not, do you have a recommendation for an independent? I don't have any recommendations for what to do in Belize. If there's none and you're about 6 months away, I mean, they'll show up eventually. Yes, there will be something in there. Don't worry. So I would just say you got to keep playing the waiting game on that one. But I don't know if anyone in our chat has a recommendation for an excursion in Belize. The last time I was in Belize, and this is like years ago, probably 2018, we did a private journey thing through Royal Caribbean. That's their private shore excursion if you Google Royal Caribbean private journeys. But I've almost like gotten to the point of not recommending private journeys anymore because I think the last like 3 times I tried to use them, they never got back to me. Maybe I have to give them another try again. But yeah. Let's see here. Slew Dog, any tips for Port Everglades? We're driving on a Friday, has traffic. I mean, it's going to be Friday. It's going to be a little bit of traffic in the morning. It won't be too bad. Depends on where you're coming from also, Slew Dog. Whether you're north of the port, west of the port, south of the port. Be a little bit, but usually most people end up on 595, which funnels into the Port Everglades. And there's not much traffic going in that direction. Everyone's like driving out to like Fort Lauderdale, like downtown Fort Lauderdale, or to Miami. So I think you'll be okay. Are you excited for Dave Matthews Band getting inducted into the Hall of Fame Saturday? I only wish Megan Hayes was here to see it, but that is awesome. Wish you were going. Yeah, well, we'll have to listen to DMB radio on Sirius XM. Jason, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Do you have a pointer? Sorry, do you have a video on the new port at Nassau? I normally don't get off the ship. I don't have a video on it. There's not like much to it. It's just a cleaner, easier layout than there was before. It's not as convoluted, and but I think you'll make pretty quick sense of it, Jason. You really don't need a video to understand how it works, especially if you've been there before. The thing is, Jason, it's not like Costa Maya or Puerto Plata or some port that's like really ornate. They basically redid those little shops and things before you get to the pier or after you walk off the pier, however you want to look at it. But the actual, once you exit the port area and you're in downtown, that looks exactly the same. So I wouldn't necessarily get off the ship just to see the port area because the port area is not that exciting unless you really want to get your hair braided or there is a little shopping. You could do that if that's up your alley. But the principal Nassau experience has not really fundamentally changed. They just made the port area a little better flow, essentially, in my opinion. It's nice, but it's not like, hey, guys, now you should be getting off the ship in Nassau again. So if you haven't been getting off the ship in Nassau up till now, I guess you should probably wait for the Nassau Beach Club to open next year, would be my guess. Michelle Prose is here. Tukes Vegas. Tukes, thank you for the super chat. Matt, I'm going to be diamond soon. Congratulations. I'm going on a cruise with my sister and mom. Do either get my status if in my room? No. I'm assuming your sister and your mom are both adults. They're not dependent. No. It only apply to your spouse and your kids. So the fact of sharing a cabin with your mom and your sister is very nice, but they don't get your status for you. So yeah, it doesn't work that way. It would only work, Tukes, if you had your spouse or your kids under the age of 18. Then they would get that. Terry wants to know, Matt, when will they change the menu at Chef's Table? You know what's funny, Terry? They used to change it like yearly, and have they not changed it in like almost a decade now? It feels like, at least since 2020. I don't know. I'll have to, next time I see someone at Royal who might have the answer, I'll have to ask them about that. It's a good point. They got so many other things going on. I feel like they can only move in so many directions, you know? We get a drink of water. Jen Green from MEI Travel is here. Talked about you a little earlier, Jen. All good things. Glad to have you here. Renee Romero. Renee, thank you for the super chat. 24 days till Oasis. What are they working on while it's in dry dock? Will be where the first time it gets back to Fort Lauderdale. Maintenance work, a lot of under the hood work, refreshing public spaces. As far as I know, there's no upgrades, no like, hey, there's a new restaurant or a new activity. They're just, refreshing, refurbishing guest areas. Obviously, there's a lot of work that gets done. And honestly, the primary work was really done below the water level. Engines, the azipods, maintenance, all the non-fun stuff there. But they also work on public areas. Sometimes you'll see new pool decks, like the actual surface of the deck gets resurfaced, painting, etc., things like that. Essentially, when you get on board, Renee, my expectation for you would be that you would look around and be like, it's got that I don't want to say new cruise ship smell, but you'd be able to tell it's been retouched. So there's a little fine touches here and there. The one area you probably won't see any difference will be your stateroom. They rarely, if ever, work on staterooms during refurbishments. Rage Shifty, good to see you again. Thank you for the super chat. How close are we being able to make specialty dining reservations prior to the cruise? Actually, it's available now. I'm going to do a blog post about this tomorrow. Shout out to Teresa McChain from MEI Travel for helping me out about this. Rage, we've noticed that if you buy the ultimate dining package now on any ship, you can book it immediately. If you pre-booked it though, or if you're booked it already, I should say, or if you have the 3-night dining package, it's not available that I can tell yet. But of course, you can always cancel and rebook if you really wanted to. I'll have a blog post about this tomorrow in depth, but just because I like you, you've been around for a while here, I'll let you know that it's available now for the. It used to be only on Allure. Now it's pretty much on every ship that I was able to do a quick test on this afternoon. But I saw it late in the afternoon. I'm like, all right, we'll get this ready to go first thing Tuesday morning. Cassie, excuse me. Hey, Matt, I don't plan to check out any bags. Seeing as though I have a late boarding time, do they just x-ray the bags and give them back? Or can I bring any size toiletries? Yes. So, Cassie, good question. Going on a cruise ship, going through into the check-in process in the terminal, it's not like an airport at all. Number one, they do not care about the size of your toiletries, meaning like you don't need to have travel size or, no liquids. They could not care less. So that's number one. Number two, as long as your bag can fit in the x-ray machine, then you're able to bring it on board the ship. If you're getting on later, that's fine. This actually, it's interesting because I don't think this is your scenario here, but I always feel bad. I don't want to call it a pet peeve, but I always question why people who board the ship early, like let's say, around, 11 o'clock or so, lug their luggage around all, for 3 hours until their room is ready. I mean, I get, okay, now you have your stuff with you. So when your room is ready, it's ready there. But I just don't think it's worth the hassle of bringing it on board. But obviously, Cassie, if you're coming in later, if you won't be to the cruise terminal until 2 o'clock or something like that, or 1 o'clock, and you just want to do that, I mean, I guess there's a rationale there. But as long as your bag can fit in the x-ray machine, totally fine. Beyond that, they don't care about your toiletries in terms of if you have, liquids in there or shampoos. Any size toiletries are totally fine. Matt Hens from MEI Travel is here. Welcome, Matt. Good to see you. Let's see. Michelle just talked to Fox from MEI Travel. Love that. Fantastic. Becky Menken from MEI Travel is here. Welcome, Becky. Glad to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Michael, thank you for the super chat. Can you please list Royal Caribbean's upcoming planned private destinations, beach clubs, and their expected opening year? I don't know the dates I don't know some of the dates off the top of my head, Michael, but it's basically Royal Beach Club Nassau 25, Cozumel, Royal Beach Club Cozumel 26, Perfect Day Mexico 2027, and then I don't think there's really a date yet for the Royal Beach Club South Pacific, Lalepa, whatever you want to. I don't think even Royal Caribbean has a name for it yet. That'll be some point, I think, beyond that. But I'm not even sure they know the date for that one yet. That's it at this point. Anything else is either on hold or rumored. Cruising complete. What do you recommend for Cozumel? I'm a big fan of going to Paradise Beach. I like them quite a bit. Next question is from guys. We haven't talked about Royal Mexico because the last time we talked here, we hadn't revealed that yet. But now Royal. Let me try this again. Perfect Day Mexico. I mean, guys, are you guys excited for this? Because sounds like I cannot wait. I love what they did at Coco Key. Now bigger, better, bolder, more guacamole. Sign me up. Yes, please. All right. Becky says private journeys is a great idea, but I'm with you. I've only had one come through so far. It's crazy. They just I get ghosted more on private journeys than I ever did when I was dating. It was crazy. Sissify, thank you for the super chat. Pair character doing a shaka sign with his hand saying cool. Awesome. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Next question. David says, after a little research, I didn't realize how much smaller the Edge class ships are originally. I thought it was closer to Quantum class, but it's more like a Navigator. Yeah. Celebrity in general are smaller ships, even though the Edge class are new ships for Celebrity. Yeah, they're not small, but there were 3,000 some odd passengers. I mean, they're not giant ships either. So, how do I come up with new videos? I had new ideas for videos. Honestly, A lot of time is spent staring at the ceiling, just trying to think about the sort of things that you guys ask me about here. This is always one way I come up with video ideas. If I see a common question coming up, we might tackle that. We try to also be as all-encompassing as we can with our video ideas, meaning like, we don't do we don't do videos anymore about specific ports. Like I don't do a video, with the exception of like Coco Key. I won't do a video about like best things to do in Roatan, because the problem is there's just not a big enough audience that cares about that. Basically, unless you have a cruise going to Roatan, you probably won't watch the video. So we try to be, try to come up with ideas that'll be as appealing to as wide an audience as possible. And sometimes we try to come at it from a, let's try to solve a problem, share tips, good story. Kind of all depends. Let me get a drink of water here. Cheers, Mark Machine. Let's see. V Martiano, thank you for the super chat. Any suggestions for what to do in St. Thomas or St. Martin? Never been, only Mexico. So for St. Thomas, Megan's Bay. For St. Martin, I would probably recommend doing Orient Beach, would be a good choice over there. Any absolute must-dos for Wonder of the Seas? I would definitely tell you to see the shows. The Aqua Theater show, the shows in the main theater, Effectors, the ice skating shows. Those are all really good, and I think it's absolutely worth your time for that. Plus, they're free, so why not? And then beyond that, Megan, go to the Mason Jar Bar, whether you're a country music fan or not. The band there is really, really good. I think it's a really fun time. Amanda from MEI Travel is here. Welcome. Devolved Godzilla. I think question: what's the best restaurant in Icon? That's a great question. I mean, the Empire Supper Club is really good, but that's obviously like very elevated food. I would probably say, I'm now thinking, Aquadome Market. I loved Aquadome Market. It's not a specialty restaurant. It's complimentary, and I really like that quite a bit. So I'm going to go with that one, just to mix the things up there. Next question is from Mrs. Thomas. Thank you for the super chat. If you had to choose one restaurant to eat on Wonder of the Seas and Oasis, which one would it be? 150 Central Park it doesn't matter which one. I would say 150 Central Park on Wonder, and on Oasis, I would pick Portside Barbecue. That's a really good one as well. Are there any must-do excursions in Costa Maya or Roatan? Costa Maya, not through Royal Caribbean, but I would recommend Maya Chan. And for Roatan, booked through Royal Caribbean, I'd recommend Mayan Princess. Both are beach days. Let's see here. Ronnie, thank you for the super chat, my friend. 7's live chats till Adventure of the Seas. What shows should we miss on board? Adventure shows aren't like the Oasis class. Like, there's not like, hey, it's an amazing show on there. I say look for the ones that look of interest to you. I mean, the ice skating show in general is my good fallback. It's hard to screw up an ice skating show. It's air conditioned, so that's always a plus. But I tend to like that one. So I'd say, how about see the ice skating show on board? Rob, if we hate our cabin and our friends hate theirs, can we swap rooms? Sure. Royal Caribbean doesn't care where you sleep. I'm, within reason. But if you want to switch rooms, they won't care at all. Is Royal Railway still doing a Western theme? As far as I know, yes. That's actually a really good question, Slew Dog. Because, of course, they said they were going to add a new theme there. When I go, I'm going to Royal Railway when I go back on Utopia in a week and a half. So at the end of the month, Slew Dog. And since I'll be at the restaurant, I'll have an opportunity to ask some questions and see what they say about that. Because, yeah, I forgot about that, actually. We should be right around there. They had said it'd be about a month or two, which in Royal Caribbean speak is like 6 months. But hopefully they'll have that ready very, very soon. With Royal Caribbean Slew Dog, it's like there's no announcement until there's an announcement kind of thing. They don't like tease it. They just like get it out when we get it out. Let's see. Lots of great countdowns here. Awesome stuff. Which Izumi option is best? I mean, there are 3 options now. You have Izumi Sushi, you have Izumi Hibachi, and then you have Izumi Omakase, excuse me. I can go for some sake, though. Man, I mean, Omakase really blew me away. But hibachi is a crowd pleaser. It's hard to go wrong with hibachi, though. Let's see here. Guys, great question so far. Please, if you have a question about a Royal Caribbean cruise, feel free to type your questions in chat. We are answering as many questions as we possibly can during this hour here. Next question is from JJR. Hi, Matt, on Brilliance. Having a wonderful time. Nice. Enjoy your cruise. Ronnie, again with a super chat. 2 for now. Thank you. With the addition of Perfect Day in Mexico, will they add a cruise with that? Wait, what? Oh. Will they add a cruise that only visits Royal Caribbean private locations? Probably. I don't know that they'll necessarily call it out, but they've done that before, Ronnie, where we've seen cruises that go to Perfect Day and La Badie. So I don't see why that would change. So I would say, yeah, and I would love that idea, quite frankly. Rico, greetings from Arizona. Just got off Wonder yesterday. I'd agree with your review. Evening show quality was lacking. There you go. Thank you for your review. Warren says the Western Caribbean itinerary just got 10 times better. Dude, you are not wrong. With Royal, I keep doing that. With Perfect Day Mexico, I mean, it fundamentally changes the dynamic of that itinerary and what to do in that port. And I got to tell you guys, while Royal Caribbean is still planning a lot of things in there, they've got some really, really interesting ideas that I definitely cannot talk about. But I think we're going to be very, very happy with whatever they come up with in the end, because they are truly dreaming up some amazing things there. And at the end of the day, even if all you do is walk off that ship, go straight, plop yourself down in a pool or in the beach, I think it's going to be a real home run. I really believe that. And I think it's going to be, as you said, Warren, it's going to really enhance the options over there. Justin wants to know, why does Royal Caribbean advertise rooms for $1,300? Then in the breakdown, your first guess is $3,000. Great question. So there is a bit of a math game involved, but let me make this, generally speaking, when you book a cruise, and let's talk, I guess 3 people you're talking about, or you don't, no, I don't know where I got, $3,000, never mind. The first 2 people in the room are the most, because Royal Caribbean charges, basically they book themselves off a double occupancy model. So the first 2 people in the cabin will have the biggest fares. Like if you book 4 people in a room, you will, if you look it up at the per person rate, the first 2 people's rates are gargantuan, and 3rd and 4th are very small. This is based on the double occupancy model. And then basically what they're doing is they charge you whatever rate they've got for those 2 people, and then they apply all the, BOGO discounts and crazy things, the specials they've got on there to bring it down to the price that you eventually find at the total. It's a little weird, but it's just the way that it works. I don't know how else I can describe it other than it's not like you're not missing anything. This is how all the rooms are, where the first 2 people always have the highest rates, and 3rd and 4th people significantly less. Sandra, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all the helpful info. I'm going to be doing a back-to-back from New Orleans. Will I be able to get off the ship on turnaround day? Yes, absolutely. You can walk off the ship. Sandra, you have 2 choices. You can get off the ship with everybody else that morning and just go do your own thing and then come on back. My advice to you is probably to do the back-to-back process so you have your CPAS card. That way when you get back on board, when you get back to the cruise terminal, you can simply walk through and you don't have to do the check-in process as much, or it's a little bit easier if you have your CPAS card. But you could do either one. You could walk off the ship with everybody else that morning, go do whatever you want to do, and then come back in the afternoon and do the check-in process like everybody else would do as if it's a new sailing. Obviously, you want to be bags with you, just walk back on, and it's pretty simple. Or you can do the back-to-back process, and when that's cleared, then disembark the ship. So, up to you, whichever you'd like to do. But yeah, absolutely. Rebecca Winneberger, welcome back. Good to have you here. I got to drink Wawa. Michelle says, we will return once Perfect Day Mexico opens. Very exciting. Nice. Grumpy Sysadmin, would you say Allure of the Seas is a good ship for first-time cruisers? Absolutely, yes. It's a great ship. Oasis-class ships, very, very good choice. Halcyon, how are you, my friend? Which would you prefer, considering the ships only? 7 nights on Symphony or 5 nights on Grandeur or 3 nights on Independence? Obrigado. 7 nights on Symphony. I mean, this question might seem close in your mind, but in my mind, LCO, it's like, I mean, yeah, 7 nights on Symphony. It's not even close. 3 nights on Independence. I don't know why you would pick 3 nights on Independence. I mean, over 7 nights on Symphony. Personally, but that's just me. Next question is from the Russian Floofcat. Let me read the question like Russian Floofcat would like. Will there be a first-timer cruise on Independence in March, then Star later in the year? Any tips on either ships or for killing moose and squirrel? For both ships, well, first of all, Star obviously isn't out yet, so kind of apply the icon stuff. Let me make this simple. For Star, when we get closer to your sailing, you're going to want to book entertainment. That's probably the big thing you want to do pre-cruise when you're talking about an icon class ship like Star of the Seas. So I would definitely tell you to pre-book that, and the entertainment rather, whenever that becomes available to you. Obviously, dining is something else you want to take a good look at. If there are any specialty restaurants you want to book, you just want to pre-book as much as you can for that ship. For Independence of the Seas, one thing you should know is Independence does show Grease, the Broadway musical, and it's complimentary. So I definitely recommend checking that out. There's no reservations in advance for Independence, but definitely make a point to go see it when you get on board the ship. Otherwise, as a first-time cruiser, I think some of the general advice that we share here about planning and checking in and doing all those things like that's universal, whether it's Independence or any ship in the fleet. But obviously, if you have some more specific questions, happy to answer them as well. Jen says, big week long. First of all, wait, what? Big week long? Doesn't make any sense, Jim. Anyway, Going Gone sale begins tomorrow for December 2024 sailings. Awesome. So definitely give Jen or Teresa or don't bother Becky, Amanda, Matt who's in our chat. I'd say give them a ring. Nobody probably calls you guys. Send them a message. Send them a DM. Be like, hey, send me those options for tomorrow. Big guy, can we book the 5-night dining package on the app now on Oasis? You can always book the dining package. I think what you mean is like pre-book the reservations for there. I believe the answer is no. Unless you do the unlimited or ultimate, whatever, then yes, big guy. But I'm going to have more of a breakdown in tomorrow's blog post. But my understanding, based on my limited testing, literally like Teresa and I were looking at this like an hour or two ago. It looks like all the ships are available if you book the ultimate dining package now. If you booked it before, it looks like you'd have to cancel and rebook in order to do that. Next question is from, hey, Desiree, good to see you. Kim is going on our first roller coaster cruise is Odyssey. Have only sailed with Celebrity and Princess. Any tips? I would say, obviously you've cruised before. I mean, kind of piggybacking on the other question, Kim, obviously, first time Royal Caribbean stuff. Going on Odyssey, you can pre-book entertainment. So you should definitely do that when you get to about 30 days before your cruise. That's probably a good idea. Number two, I think a big difference between Odyssey or Royal Caribbean and Celebrity or Princess for that matter is that it's a lot livelier at night. You'll find a lot more evening entertainment, live music, shows. So an afternoon nap is probably a good idea because a lot of the events do go right up till midnight, if not later. The bulk of them run between 8 or 9 p.m. and midnight. But yeah, there's a lot of late night or evening activities there. So definitely plan for that. That's just kind of like off the top of my head kind of stuff that I can assist you with. Brad, any thoughts on Nachi Kokum? I've been there. I've been to Nachi so many times, but the last time I went there, I was really disappointed with it. I thought that while they do limit the capacity, which is really nice, I thought the service was not as good as it used to be. And I thought the food is really bad. Not really bad, but it's really lacking. I was really unimpressed by the food. Cowboy Valley and Timberline Junction Model Railroad. Thank you for the super chat. What's the difference between Giovanni's Kitchen and Table? The menu. Giovanni's Table was the original idea. Giovanni's Kitchen is like version 2.0. So what does that really mean? The menu. There's different menus at each restaurant. That's all. Hope that makes sense. Can't wait to meet you next June in Europe. That's going to be an amazing cruise, dude. Independence of the Seas next summer. Can't wait. Stasia, I heard there's an Alice in Wonderland themed restaurant on Wonderland is the name of the restaurant. Wonderland is loosely based. I mean, I wouldn't call it is based on Alice in Wonderland, but it's very loosely based. Like it's not like I don't want to oversell it as like basically as Alice in Wonderland. It's kitschy, it's cute, it's worth doing once. So I would say if you've never been there, and obviously you kind of like that idea, I would say definitely go for it. It's fun. Hey, Megan, thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, didn't finish. Restaurant suggestions for near Port Canaveral. Ooh, I got 2 restaurant recommendations for you in Port Canaveral. One is called Rising Tide. It's right by the port. Fantastic. It is better than Grills or Fish Lips. Everybody goes to Grills and Fish Lips because it's right on the water. Trust me when I tell you, it's cheaper and better quality overall over at Rising Tide. If you're staying in Cocoa Beach, the go-to place I always go to like pre-cruise dinner is the Ale House over there, the Cocoa Ale House. It's a good family restaurant. Rising Tide is good for kids as well, so I don't feel like you can't bring your kids there. But if you're more like, hey, we're just like burgers and they have more than burgers and fries, but whatever, you know what I mean? Like generic American food, Ale House is a really good option as well. It's right by, I always remember it because it's right by the strip club called Cheaters. I'm always like, what a great name for a strip club. But it has no affiliation, no connection. Don't worry, you're not going to a strip club. It's a Ale House, it's a completely different establishment. But every time I see it, I can't help but chuckle to myself. Let's see here. Let's get some more questions in here. Did I miss any super chats? Hang on. Oh, yes, I did. We're going to catch up on the super chats right here. Where are you? Ronnie, thank you for the super. I think I missed one more. What amenities differ in Crown and Suite lounges? The Crown Lounge is for Diamond members and up. The Suite Lounge is for Suite Lounge members and up. The biggest difference is that the alcohol, there's no limit to the alcohol during happy hour in the Suite Lounge, whereas the Diamond Lounge, you're limited to your what's it called? Diamond drink count. And then, of course, the view location, but you kind of figured that part out already. They still have jet ski excursions to Cocoa Key? Yes, absolutely they do. Yeah, I don't believe that's changed at all. Any excursions for Mazatlan or Puerto Vallarta? Don't want a beach day. Oh, gosh, Holly. I was about to say, yes, I have great beach excursions for you. That's all I've ever done in either place. Unfortunately, I don't. Maybe someone in our chat can help you out, but I've only done beach stuff over there, Holly, so I'm so sorry. Man, I'm so excited for a perfect day in Mexico. It's going to be great. Yeah, and somebody said, I missed the message here, but somebody said go-karts. That's a great idea. I'd love to see go-karts at Perfect Day in Mexico. I don't think it'll happen, but you never know. Oh, there it is. And we answered that one already. We're good there. Safazi wants to know, what's the next supper club going to be? It's going to be Lincoln Park Supper Club. It's going to be Chicago-based, Safazi. So on Star of the Seas, it'll be Chicago-based, whereas themed, whatever. Whereas on Icon, Empire Supper Club is based on New York. And then whenever we get to Icon 3, it will be Hollywood-based, California theme. So kind of fun there. Tony Diaz is here. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. Dennis, thank you for the super chat. If you had to schedule a cruise in the Western Caribbean for January, what one thing off ship would you make sure is available? What? If you had to schedule a cruise in the Western Caribbean for January, what one thing off ship would you make sure is available? Do you mean what shore excursion would I like absolutely positively book? If that's your question, then I would do Maya Chan in Costa Maya. But Dennis, I'm not sure I understand your question, quite frankly. Does anyone understand it? Am I like completely aloof on this one? Dude, please retype your message in the form of a question. I don't know. There's a couple of typos in there, and I think that's maybe messing with my understanding of your question. Charlene, thank you for the super chat. What's the best thing to do on Labadee, going on Independence of the Seas to Jamaican Labadee? I think renting a cabana, not to sound like Jen Green and all bougie, but I think Jen's right on this one. That'd be to book a cabana at Barefoot Beach or Nellie's Beach. Really nice, pretty affordable, a lot cheaper than the ones at Coco Key. But I think they really do make a difference. Warren likes Rusty's at Port Canaveral. I've never been there. Where is that one? And where is Rusty's, Warren? And what proximity is it to the Cheaters Strip Club? That's how I know where everything is in that place. Motorboater, thank you for the super chat. It's just for what to do in St. John, Antigua Valley Church Beach. I wrote an article today about this place over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Valley Church Beach. You just take a taxi. It is so beautiful there. Nelly, thank you for the super chat. Now I got to find it. There it is. So did Royal Caribbean buy the current immediate stuff in Costa Maya? Yes. They bought the pier, or they're going to, whatever. The pier and the port area and land beyond it that they haven't divulged where it is. As a Galveston cruiser, love this decision. Also, cheating on Royal Caribbean the Jubilee. Mon Dieu, sacre bleu. But I do have Harmony, Mariner, and Oasis booked. All right, Nelly, we'll let it pass. But no one's perfect. But yeah, how does the inside of Cheaters look? I swear on Tony Diaz, I have never been there before. I just have seen it when I park my car, and I'm like, because I'm an immature little boy at heart. Next question. Don points out an Ensenada. I don't think they're going to Ensenada, though. I think they're just going to Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta. Because usually when you do that itinerary, Don, you don't go to Ensenada. But hey, that's a good suggestion no matter what. Christine recommends the Old Town Mazatlan is quaint, an easy, nice walk through the shop. So here's the thing. Old Town Mazatlan is quaint if you're not there in the summer. Because in the summertime, it's boiling at 1,000 degrees. But otherwise, that's a very good tip there. Absolutely. Megan with her third super chat. Thank you, Megan. I swear I'll go away after this. No worries at all. Staying in a junior suite, I wonder, what perks should I know about to get access to the suite lounge? You do not get access to the suite lounge, unfortunately. Your perks are you're going to get priority embarkation in the terminal. So when you get into the terminal for check-in, go to the suite line. I know it's confusing because you don't get access to the suite lounge, but you qualify for the suite line. So that's number one. Number two, you will have, what ship are you on? Wonder. You will have access to Coastal Kitchen for dinner only. That's a big one. So when you get on board the ship, go to Coastal Kitchen. You can make reservations for dinner. That's about it. I mean, you'll get double crown and anchor points, but you already knew that. But in terms of like taking advantage or doing things like that, that's pretty much it right there. Gina, how can I get onboard credit for my birthday? I'm sailing on that date. You can't. There is no correlation between the two. One thing you can do is talk to your travel agent, and they can probably, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Teresa, Jen, Becky, Matt, the entire team Slack channel here on MEI Travel. You, as travel agents, you can add value for them if they book through you. So, Utopia of the Seas is an Oasis class ship. Terminal 1 to the left of Grills. I've never been there yet, Warren. I should, at some point, go check it out. Sounds like a good place to. Just nice to try new restaurants. Adventure Motion. When can I see the mini robot shows on Quantum Class ships? I heard they play throughout the day. They do. It's at the Bionic Bar. They're not open in the morning, but in the afternoon and evening, they do their thing. Basically, in order for there's not a show unless you order a drink. Just like the strip club, you gotta pay for the show. But basically, when you order a drink, the robots do their thing. Otherwise, they just sit there and they're like, and you wait for an order. So, Tony, is Star going to have Crown's Edge? I have no idea. I would imagine so, Tony, but Rel hasn't said yet. What's on the deck plans? Then I'd have to check that, but I'm not sure. I'd be more surprised if it wasn't than if it was on there. Not a first-time cruiser, but first-time Royal Caribbean cruiser. What should I expect? It's funny. Imperfect Prince. We were talking about this on Facebook earlier today in the Royal Caribbean Blog Insider group. I don't think Royal Caribbean gets enough credit for how smooth and fast embarkation is. So I'm going to guess when you try Royal Caribbean, you come back here to our live chat, you're going to say, Matt, you'll have whatever opinions you have on the ship and all that other stuff. That's fine. You can say, Matt, you were right. It was so fast and easy checking in. One of our writers, Elizabeth, is on Sun Princess, and she said it was an absolute disaster checking in. Slow, cumbersome. Anyway, I think you'll find you should expect a very easy check-in process, especially if you do all the check-in steps via the Royal Caribbean app before the cruise. I've not tried the food at Cheaters. I haven't been in there yet. I could try again. Do you have any concern for the folks at Maya Chan? Not necessarily. I mean, that's a good question, Kyle. Perfect Day Mexico, obviously. I feel like there's a couple things. Number one, there's other lines that are still going there. Number two, not everybody's going to go to Perfect Day Mexico. Obviously, the first week it's open. When it first opens up, they'll get a lot of attention there. But over time, there's a lot of people who just like doing their own thing anyway, whether it's Perfect Day, whether it's Royal Caribbean curated or not. And I feel like there's enough of a market there that they can continue doing their thing. At the end of the day, when you have a product that is as good as Maya Chan's, I think it'll stand on its own. And I can see, listen, I was thinking about this myself, Kyle, because, I love Maya Chan. And I was thinking about this in a Perfect Day Coco Key, where I was like, if I was at Coco Key tomorrow and I had the choice of going to Coco Key or going to do Maya Chan, I would go to Maya Chan because I've been to Perfect Day Coco Key like a bazillion and a half times at this point, right? So when the novelty wears off, I think even some of us will end up going over there as well. So I think they'll be okay. Might be some leaner times here and there, but I think they'll be okay with it. I really do. Joe Addison, thank you for the super chat. 42 days to Allure, 1695 days to Utopia. Should I reserve a spot for Terminal A parking? I've never done that before. Not to say that you shouldn't. There's no harm in it, Joe. Let's put it that way. But I wouldn't if I was to give you all a list of things you should or shouldn't do before your cruise, I wouldn't necessarily put that on my list. But it doesn't hurt. But you also don't need to do one otherwise. But I say, why not? What have you got to lose at that point, right? Delano, how do I find out about your group cruises? You go to our events page at royalcaribbeanblog.com. I'll post a link in our I'll post a link here in the chat. And you can find more information about our group cruises right there, Delano. Or better yet, you can even just ask one of the agents from MEI Travel that's in here. What are your thoughts on visiting Aruba for the first time? Love Aruba. My favorite place to do, first you got to go to Palm Beach or Eagle Beach. It's absolutely beautiful out there. The beach is really the whole thing that makes it so beautiful in Aruba. It's absolutely fantastic. GHA USA, thank you for the super chat. My wife and I are going to Utopia April 25th. We can make reservations at every specialty dining restaurant except for the Railroad. One, thoughts? Keep checking back for the Railroad. Eventually it will show up there. Right now with the Railroad, they're still trying to build up the bookings for that in terms of the reservation window. They don't want to get overwhelmed or sold out too quickly. So keep an eye on it. It will eventually open up. It's one of those things where you're too far out. So keep checking back a little closer to your sailing, but I would check periodically. Hey, Tony, thank you for the super chat. We answered this question already. Just for you, Tony, I'm going to look it up. Unless it's on the deck plan, I have no idea. Star of the Seas deck plans. Now what deck is it on? Eek. No, it's not 17. It's 16. Bro. Crown's Edge. Yes, I see it on the deck plan. Deck 16. So the answer is yes, it will be there. But I have no idea how much it'll cost. As you know, and this is true of Icon as well, Tony. The price depends from sailing to sailing. But I think Royal Caribbean I don't think you're going to see $100, the crazy prices you saw initially for Icon. I think they understand where the demand is for that kind of an attraction. Sam Fan says, Matt, you are right. We got through embarkation so fast, I thought I missed something. D-Man says, Port Canaveral embarkation is so fast, you basically just walk on, right? Isn't that amazing? Guys, you remember when embarkation it just used to be this slog and it took forever. And yeah, those days are gone, man. It's really, listen, you can fault Royal Caribbean for other things, but you got to give them props where props are due. And their embarkation from curb to ship is unbelievable. Let's see here. Ashley says I should try Nachi Kogam again. We've been a few times in the last year and going again. My thing with them, and listen, I'd love to. I'm not saying I won't. I just think the last time I went there, last couple times I went there, the service, like it was a little lackluster, the service. The pool is tiny and freezing, but more importantly, the food is like meh. Like it's nothing special. And I'm in Mexico, I want something special. So also, if this matters to you, maybe it doesn't, Ashley. They have like, as an example, you want tequila. There is one branded tequila, and it is straight up gasoline. Like I'm not even talking like it's like low brand, like this kind of like Jose Cuervo. No. It is straight up gasoline. Just the cheapest thing they could find. So that one kind of, yeah. Let's see. Warren says, because my drinks are included, I'll never not go to Perfect Day. There you go. What is on the distress messages? The floor printers popped out. It's probably one of my kids' homeworks, but that's funny. Thanks for the laugh on that one. Lynette Ann, our check-in is this week. We watched your video outlining the process, but want to make sure, does the arrival time selection show up first or is an additional step to take? 48 days till wonder. So when you do, it'll show up at the same time. When check-in opens, if you're using the app, you go immediately. You'll see 3 steps, but you go to immediately the check-in time, select your time, get it, and then you're good. And then you can come back and do the rest later on if you'd like to. But yeah, it's available immediately when check-in opens up. So good question. Kathy, thank you for the super chat. Independent, or was it Icon or Independence? Don't know. Whatever ship it was beautiful. We loved it. We received a grand suite certificate. Any recommendations on what ship to use it on? Caribbean preferred. Well, if it wasn't Icon, go back on Icon. Icon or Wonder. I mean, pick a ship. I would say pick a ship that has a coastal kitchen would probably be my recommendation, because not only you'll get that, you'll get the suite lounge. So yeah, any ship that has a coastal kitchen, an Oasis, Icon, or Quantum class ship, it's a good one to use it on. William, would you recommend Quantum of the Seas or Norwegian Encore for an Alaska cruise? Now, I have not been on Norwegian Encore, so I am very biased and unfair in my answer that I'm about to give you, but my answer for you is Quantum of the Seas, because I'm a Royal Caribbean fan. Are they cutting back on trams to Coco Key? All right, this rumor, yes, but not the way you think. What they're doing is they basically, the tram service on the pier that goes from the ship to the arrivals plaza is now only for those with special needs. That's the only change. There's no change to the trams on the island. It's just the trams on the pier from where the ship docks to the arrivals plaza. Basically, I think they were just being overwhelmed with people who were using them. And the folks that really needed it, special needs folks, either they just had to wait like a really long time to get one. So long story short, they're like, listen, we're going to limit it to just people with special needs. And then obviously when you get to the arrivals plaza, anybody can take the trams over there. So I hope that makes it clear. And the reason why I kind of rolled my eyes at this question, not you, Ben, but I posted about this morning. And of course, people don't read. They see tram service and they're like, oh, all the trams at Coco Key are in, like, no. They're not doing that. So unfortunately, a bad game of telephone happening on the internet. But it's just the tram service on the pier for people with special needs will be reserved for them. What constitutes a special need? Really anything. You don't need to bring a doctor's note. Like, that's ridiculous. Just tell them you have a special need. They're not going to question you about it. So yeah, it's really meant for people who really have mobility issues, whether it's apparent or not. Hey, Scary, thank you for the super chat, my friend. What's the longest you've gone between cruises? Well, of course, the shutdown. If Josh Carruthers was here, he'd remind me. The cruise between March of 2020 and June of 2021. I have 7 days on my next one. Don't think I'm going to make it. Thanks for keeping us entertained between cruises. If you don't count the industry shutdown, it might have been, wasn't it like last summer, like 23? I had a pretty big gap there. Somewhere in the ballpark of like 8 weeks or so, 8 or 9 weeks. But yeah, no, I'm with you, Scary. When I take a cruise, I get home the first day or two, I'm like, oh, it's good to be back. I have my own space again, blah, blah, blah. And then like within a week, I start like, I could really go back for a cruise again. And then within like 3 or 4 weeks, it really starts getting like, I need to get back on a cruise again. So yeah, I know your pain, my friend. Thank you for your generosity as always. What is my recommendation for things to do in San Juan? Honestly, just walk around. You do not need a shore excursion. It's really easy. Your ship docks right in downtown San Juan. Walk off the ship and explore. It's really easy to walk around old San Juan. Knox has been watching me for 7 years. You know what's crazier? I've been doing this for 7 years. But welcome. Glad to have you here. Next question. Hugo, taking my mom, dad, and brother and sister-in-law on their first cruise in July of 2025. We will be on Harmony. Any advice to ensure they have a good time? Just do the things we talk about in these videos here. Pre-plan, involve them in the planning process. The more you can plan ahead of time, Hugo, the better your vacation is going to be overall. That's really the biggest thing. Just don't, I know you're not going to do this, but don't just wing it and show up on board the ship. But involve them in the planning as well. Don't be like, all right, I say we're all going to do this from now on. And this is it's their vacation too. So just, roll with the punches, plan at least meals together. And it's okay for them to do their own thing as well if they like to. But pre-plan for sure. Does the Windjammer have many options? Oh, it has many. Yeah, no, it's the widest variety of food there. You'll have no problems. Picky eaters love the Windjammer. What is my favorite holiday cruise to go on? Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving on a Royal Caribbean cruise because number one, you don't have to pack anything extra. It's not like Halloween or Christmas. You have decorations or gifts you need to bring. Really easy. It's a built-in time off. Thanksgiving is not nearly as popular at the time. It's a little cooler out. And boy, nothing better than having Royal Caribbean make the Thanksgiving Day dinner for you. And that way you don't have to clean, cook, or do anything like that. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it's a vastly underrated time to go on a cruise. Smiler PA, thanks for all your videos. I've been using your recommendations to plan our first cruise next July in Quantum, Alaska. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate that. Thank you. Huge thanks to Kelly Scolar from MEI Travel for booking our cruise with the unlimited dining package. It's $20 food credit limited to one restaurant per day, or can use multiple. It's one restaurant per day. It's each restaurant per day. Meaning, to answer your question, RX, if you were to go to Playmakers and Izumi Sushi, you could do both on the same day. So you could only go to each once on the same day, if that makes sense. You can't go to Playmakers twice on the same day, but you can go to Playmakers and Izumi on the same day. Hope that makes sense. Yellow Bird, 49 Days Liberty. If I get the deluxe drink package, but there's a cover charge at Johnny Rockets, so I have to pay to get a shake. The answer is it depends. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It really depends on the crew member. It's a lame answer, but honestly, I've seen it both ways. Usually, you don't have to pay the cover charge, but I have heard from some folks that they still do ask them to pay the cover charge in that situation. Jim, we talked about this a little earlier. Just some maintenance work under the hood. No maintenance work enhancements, but nothing like no new restaurants or venues or activities or attractions. They're just doing some maintenance work, essentially, unless there's a massive surprise coming our way that they've not mentioned yet. And our last question today is from Ed. How much do you recommend to tip housekeeping? Number one, I will, first of all, the automatic gratuities that you pay when you book a Royal Caribbean cruise, to me, is very satisfactory. I usually tip them anywhere between $50 and $100 extra at the end of the cruise, depending on if it's my kids are there, if we were extra messy, if they themselves were extra personable or something like that. But I usually tip a little bit more on top of that just because, but really and truly the automatic gratuities I feel are very adequate, acceptable for the purposes of gratuity there. I really don't think you're shortchanging them with that. So, all right, speed round. You're right, Teresa. We'll do a quick speed round before we go. So guys, we have 2 minutes on the clock. And you can ask me quick, yes or no, easy, bam, bam, bam questions, not about cheaters, in the chat about Royal Caribbean. We'll answer as many questions as we can in 2 minutes. I know there's a bit of a delay in the chat between what I'm saying and you hearing it and it coming through. So starting in 3, 2, 1. Why haven't I got on Voyager of the Seas yet? It hasn't been around, but I'm going on there in December. How many nights was your longest cruise? 9. Unless you don't count back-to-backs, then it was 14. If you didn't cruise, what would you be doing? Work-wise? Work-wise, I was a web developer beforehand. If that's your question. Go Yankees. Yes. Tony Diaz. Do you see this right here, Tony? Absolutely. Warren, you know it. Alaska, one way or round trip? If you've never done it before, round trip. It's a lot easier. When are you cruising out of Asia? Never. Well, not never, but never. Rhapsody, yes or no? Yes, but understand the differences between that and other ships. Cruise during spring break? Yes, absolutely. Everything to eat, the mason jar, the Nashville hot chicken sandwich. Painkiller or Goombay Smash? Tony Diaz has got this right. Painkiller all the way. Goombay Smash is good, but Painkiller is fantastic. Will you be on the first sailing of a star? I will be. Yes, indeed. Should we do Insiders next October with you? Yes, you should. Blow dryers in the room on Wonder? Yes. If you have thick hair, it's not going to be, it's very underpowered. So if you have thick hair, bring your own. If not Royal Caribbean, who? I don't, celebrity. That's a cop-out answer. Favorite Golden Girl? Well, the mom, not like I remember her name. So I don't, Maud? But I know Maud is not the mom, but it's the only name I can think of. So Maud. Would you cruise during hurricane season? Absolutely yes, 100%. How do you turn off work when on a cruise? I don't, because I work. Cruising is my work. But if I want to take a break from it or I need a break, a nap is honestly the best way to tune that out real quick. Best excursion in St. Lucia, go to the Pitons. Wonder of the Sea's favorite thing to do, go to the Mason Jar Bar and hang out over there. Do Cabana's Cookie have transportation from ship to cabana? Not direct. It's not like a Labadee, but there are tram services that'll bring you to the different areas around the ship, or around the island, excuse me. And last question. Are travel agents worth it? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. 100%, 1000% yes. Yes. All right, guys. Dorothy is the. Oh no, Maud is the mom, but Dorothy's the. Who is it? Yeah, Dorothy is the daughter, right? And Maud is the mom. Well, whatever. Whoever the mom is, that's my favorite one. All right, guys. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us here. Hope you had a great time. Don't forget, we'll be back next Monday live right here on YouTube. Of course, big shout out to all of our super chatters today. You guys were amazing. Thank you for your support. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.